This is a completely new handheld from an entirely new brand, the Mangmi Air X. I believe it might become a new favorite among mid-budget consoles priced under $100. It has an ergonomic design, a beautiful display, futuristic lighting around the analog sticks, and impressive performance, all for just $80 at launch. The Mangmi Air X runs on Android 14 and can play thousands of games, starting with classic retro titles from Nintendo and Game Boy, and going all the way up to popular games from the PlayStation Portable, and even some games from the GameCube, PlayStation 2 and Nintendo Switch. It all sounds very promising, so let us find out whether this console is really that good for the price. In this video I will unbox the console, look closely at its design, test several games, and of course talk about its performance. First, here are the main specifications. The Mangmi Air X uses a Snapdragon 662 processor. This is an older chip, more than 5 years old, which was very popular in budget smartphones from Redmi, Oppo, Motorola and other brands. Graphics are handled by the Adreno 610 processor. The console has 4 GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. Don't worry, you can always use a microSD card for additional space. It comes with a 5.5-inch Full HD IPS touchscreen, which makes the interface easy to navigate. Inside is a large 5000 mAh battery. The device also includes built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Charging is through a USB Type-C port, which is placed next to a headphone jack. The console weighs about 300 grams. Technically, it can fit into a pocket, but the sticks protrude quite a bit, so I recommend carrying it in a case. A protective case is included with all early orders. The case is a little bulky, but very well made and pleasant to the touch. So thank you to Mangmi for that bonus. Another important detail is the active cooling system. Inside there is a small fan that can be adjusted through the settings. In balanced mode, it usually stays off and starts only when the console is under heavy load in demanding games. The fan is simple and you can definitely hear it when it is running. You will be able to buy the Mangmi Air X very soon on the official website for $80. Early buyers will receive the protective case as a gift. Sales start on the 15th of October and you can also get an additional $5 discount. The purchase link is in the description box. Now let us move to the unboxing. The console arrived in a box wrapped in protective film, which I always appreciate. On top there is a quick start guide with the main specifications and a diagram of all ports and buttons. There is also a small envelope with a screen protector, another nice bonus. Here is the console itself. I will set it aside for a moment. Under the console you will find a standard USB Type-A to USB Type-C charging cable. For this review I received the white version, but black and a beige retro color will also be available. My first impressions are mixed. The plastic has a pleasant matte texture, but unlike the Retroid Pocket 5, there is no special texture on the grip area, which makes it feel slightly cheaper. After some time using it, I stopped noticing this, but what I still notice are the triggers. They have no rough texture and feel too smooth. A textured surface would improve both the feel and the look, making the console more premium. But for $80, this is a small complaint. Overall, the build quality is excellent and the console looks like a more expensive device, so it is natural to compare it to the Retroid Pocket 5. In terms of price, however, it competes more with the TrimUI Smart Pro, which until now I considered the best mid-budget console. Performance reminds me of the Powkiddy X28, but the Air X offers better analog sticks and buttons, a better screen, and a more compact size. It also runs Android 14, while the X28 runs Android 11. When I turned it on for the first time, the console offered a software update, which only took a few minutes. The Mangmi Air X is made of matte plastic that feels very pleasant in the hand. The body has an ergonomic shape with rounded edges, making it comfortable to hold during long gaming sessions. On the front, the buttons are glossy and press easily with a soft feel. I like the glossy finish because it helps the thumb move smoothly across the buttons, which makes gameplay more comfortable. The same goes for the D-pad. It has a glossy finish and just the right amount of firmness. I really like how it feels. The diagonal directions also register very accurately. The analog sticks have a nice texture and feel similar to those on Retroid Pocket consoles. They can be removed and replaced if needed. They have a wide range of motion, smooth travel, and use Hall effect sensors. These are some of the best analog sticks I have seen on a handheld console. The lighting around the sticks is even and looks fantastic. You can adjust the brightness and choose individual colors for each sticks or for both at once through a special lighting menu. The Home, Back, Select and Start buttons are placed along the lower edge. They stick out slightly and click nicely. The shoulder bumpers are rounded and have a light click, while the triggers press smoothly, but again feel a bit too slick. Still, they are comfortable to use. On the top edge you will find the vent for hot air, along with the volume and power buttons. On the bottom there is the microSD card slot, the headphone jack, and the USB Type-C port for charging or transferring files to a computer. Overall, I really like the design. Both the look and the ergonomics give the impression of the much more expensive console. At this price range it has no real competition and is now my top mid-budget pick. And before we continue, please like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. This helps me promote the channel. Also, you can click the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you for your attention. Let's continue. I installed my usual collection of emulators and apps, which you can find in my Telegram channel. The link is in the description box. On the first start of the console, we'll also offer to install its own recommended emulator set. There is an excellent pre-installed launcher that scans your storage and automatically organizes games by system, which is very convenient. Another useful software feature is the sidebar in the control panel, where you can see performance stats and quickly adjust brightness, volume and more. Now let us test some games. For classic Nintendo titles, I used a shader with an old television effect to create a more authentic look and feel. For Game Boy Advance, I used a shader that simulates the original handheld's pixel grid, giving the game's unnatural appearance. Games for Nintendo 64 and the original PlayStation run smoothly and reliably. For PlayStation portable games, the results are excellent. Even at maximum graphics settings and 3 times rendering resolution, GTA Vice City Stories runs well. If you notice occasional slowdowns, you can reduce it to 2 times rendering. God of War plays best at 2 times rendering, but overall this console handles PSP games beautifully and can easily serve as a modern alternative to the original PSP. With GameCube titles you may see occasional frame drops, but many of them are playable if you are patient. For PlayStation 2 games I cannot recommend it. I had to lower settings a lot and still only reached around 20 frames per second, which is too low for comfortable play.
Grove Street. Home. At least it was before I fucked everything up.
Some simple Nintendo Switch games can run, but only a small number of the least demanding titles. Do not forget about native Android games. I installed several to show the power of this console. Half-Life and Half-Life 2 run perfectly and are a joy to play on such a portable device.
Every possible question united on voice. First, let us consider the fact that for the first time ever, as a species, immortality is in our reach. This simple fact has far-reaching implications and requires radical work.
Unfortunately, GTA Vice City for Android is not optimized well enough and suffers from heavy frame drops. You can install any games from Google Play and test them yourself on the Mangmi Air X.
I'm having that.
In conclusion, I really like this console. It is compact, has good battery life and excellent design, respectable performance, and most importantly, a price of only $80 before discounts with a high-quality protective case included. If you compare it to the consoles from Anbernic, TrimUI or Powkiddy at the same price, none of them offer a processor or performance this strong. More powerful handhelds from those companies usually cost over $100. Overall, this is an excellent console for PlayStation Portable games and for all earlier systems. You can even play some GameCube and Nintendo Switch games, and of course native Android games. The Mangmi Air X has become my new favorite among mid-budget handheld consoles, and its arrival is a great sign that prices for powerful portable devices are coming down. Remember, you can buy this console on the official website using the link in the description box. Sales start on the 15th of October. This handheld could also make a great Christmas gift, so keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I wish you pleasant nostalgia and successful completion of your favorite games.